Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Sarah Napoli, a designer with Corgan out of Phoenix. Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I met you through a friend this year at NeoCon. I wanted to see how you work the show. This is your second NeoCon trip to Chicago. Tell us a little bit about what you do for Corgan.
I just graduated a couple of years ago, came out to Phoenix, and I mainly work on workplace design. We kind of get to work cross-sector and do a little bit of other sectors like aviation, healthcare. It's been really nice being able to touch many different types of projects.
And you graduated with a degree from Mississippi State, right?
Correct.
Tell us how you work the show.
Honestly, I create a very insane Excel document, list all the different showrooms that we definitely want to hit. It's broken down by each 15 minutes to calculate in any travel time in between. The two times that I have gone, we split it up between the Mart on one day and then Fulton on the other day. So we kind of get to see both. And then I've stayed on Wednesday as well, and any showrooms that I may have missed, I always go and see the rest of it on Wednesday to try and get everything in.
Did you start with the Mart on Monday and then go to Fulton Market on Tuesday?
Yes, that's what we did this year. Last year, we kind of flip-flopped it around thinking that the Mart was going to be pretty busy on Monday. So we did Fulton on Monday. So it's been a nice little switch up.
The day you worked the Mart, did you go take the elevator up to 11 and walk down, or how'd you do that?
I painfully took the stairs, but we made it. We started at the third floor and then went up from there and kind of honestly went back and forth given if there were any events or anything, meeting up with people, things like that.
Okay. Now, some designers that go to NeoCon, they either have a specific project or they just want to stay up on current trends. Which is the case for you?
I like to stay up on the current trends, stay up to date with any sustainability stories because I know that's kind of continually changing and you get new updates on products. And our library here at Corgan, we keep all red list free products. So it's nice to see things that we can continuously keep stocked in our showroom and good things to use in projects in the future.
Tell me some things that you saw that were interesting.
One of the trends that I've noticed was more detail-based with furniture. I would say I saw a lot of like kind of exposed joinery details, and I thought that was really unique. Definitely within the textile industry, I feel like I saw a lot of textures being mixed in areas that I hadn't seen before. I quite enjoyed that. There were still a bunch of patterns. I know last year it was a lot of color, and I'm still seeing that this year. I feel like I saw a lot more texture combos this year.
We're actually working on summarizing the show ourselves right now, and we saw a lot of black and white in the carpet areas. Mid-century modern is what the interface was calling it. And then yet again at Milliken, we saw a lot of splash of color. That was a mix.
It was, and I feel like I see with a lot of the lines that have a nice neutral palette, and then they'll also throw in that neutral palette with pops of color in it, which is I feel like something that we use in a lot of our projects. You know, it'll kind of transfer. If you've got an open office, we can use some more of the neutrals, and then it'll kind of blend into a pop of color, kind of something that shows a little transitional story throughout the space. So that's always nice to see the colors that can match up with different areas in the space, even if they're different patterns. You know, as long as those colors line up, it's always fun to mix and match.
Were there any flooring companies that stood out in your mind?
I really enjoyed Shaw's showroom this year and last year. The interface that they used to kind of showcase the flooring, I thought was really neat within all of the different lines that they have and their sustainability story. I thought that was a great showroom and a great touch.
So that's on the 10th floor in the Mart. Any other flooring showrooms that you went to?
I went to Interface, Mohawk. Those were the main ones.
And does Corgan use all three of those companies?
We have used all of them frequently.
One of them's in the Mart. One of them's right across the street from the Mart. And then one's over in Fulton Market. Mohawk Group's showroom was brand new this year. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a nice open space, and I thought they had done a really great job.
When you go in these flooring showrooms, is it easy to understand what they're telling you? Did you understand the inspiration and the storyline behind the products they were showing?
Yes, I feel like that's one thing that the flooring industry does well, is kind of showcasing what their concept and inspiration behind each piece was, and you can actually see that translate through the carpet. I feel like Mohawk has done really good about that. It's easy to see what the inspiration was, and I think it's interesting to tie that into a project if that aligns with your project concept too. It's nice to bring a little bit of a story alignment between product and project.
What'd you think of Interface's, I think it was a wardrobe theme. They had mannequins and their carpet was on the mannequins. Did you see that?
Oh, yes. I love that. And I feel like this year, and maybe even a little bit of last year too, I've seen a little bit of inspiration being pulled from menswear. And I think flooring and textiles, we see that used in furniture. We see it used in clothing wear. But with carpet, I think that's really neat to see how that inspiration was taken from and how it's being showcased. I think showcasing it in a different way, I think that's really interesting and provokes a lot of thought behind that.
NeoCon used to be all in the mart, and now it's spread out over Fulton Market and surrounding areas. Does that work okay to see it all?
I haven't had any issues thus far getting to see everything, kind of transporting back and forth. I've found that it works best whenever I dedicate one day to each location. I haven't had any real issues getting back and forth between the two, although it would be more convenient if they were all in one area.
Well, that horse.
I haven't had any real issues there.
All right, Sarah. I appreciate you spending time with us. Again, been talking to Sarah Napoli, interior designer with Corgan out of Phoenix, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.